Hey guys, Jim here, and I'm going to do a fun little video, a little kind of a video response to my man Terafanatic. He did a really cool subject a few weeks back called The Magnificent Seven. And in that, he basically picked his favorite 7 knives out of his current collection. And I figured, you know what, that's a really, really cool theme. And I just kind of wanted to do my response to it, see if I can get some other people to do their own response and see what you guys have picked as your favorites. Now, obviously, most of us have more than 7 knives, so it's going to be really, really difficult to pick your favorite 7. And you know what, for me, that favorite 7 is going to be changing probably fairly often. But for right now, I'm going to pick these 7 as being my favorites, and I'm not going to put them in any particular order. Just got to kind of put them out there and explain why I feel that it's my favorite for right now. As you guys know, I carry everything that I own. Nothing is a safe queen, so it's not going to be based just on beauty or just on value or price or anything like that. First one I'm going to put up here is my new Direware Solo V2. I just got this. It is an early winner in the competition. I have been having a really hard time not throwing this in the pocket every single day. I love this one because it's overbuilt. It is insanely huge and thick, yet somehow it's lighter weight than some knives that I've got that are half the size. It's got a really sick blade, very, very sharp. Love the acid stonewash. Love the fact that when I look at this knife, I get to see 2 of my favorite things, carbon fiber and bronze titanium. If I would have scored one of these that was just in the all titanium, it would have just been this on both sides. With this, I get to see both. I get to see a really beautiful carbon fiber job, and I get to see that beautiful smooth titanium. Feels great in the hand. I love holding this thing. It's just chunky, it's big, it's massive, and it operates smoothly and flawlessly. No sticky lock. The IKBS works fantastic. And it's a great show-off piece. If you're talking to somebody and you start talking knives and they go, oh, what you got in your pocket? And you pull this thing out. Yeah, you got a hell of a conversation starter. And as you see, yep, it's already been carried. It's already got its first battle scar, apparently. I just realized that myself right now. So, yeah, totally, totally, totally love that knife. Next on the list is my Una Hard 2. This is a favorite of mine because when you talk about kind of a show-off piece, this is that show-off piece for my collection. I love everything about it. I love the silver twill. I love the yin-yang going into the carbon fiber bolster. The yin-yang pivot. Flamed, heat-treated titanium on the other side. The anodized dots on the pocket clip. The beautiful hand-rubbed satin finish on a blade that is wicked sharp. I love the feel in the hand, whether in or out of the choil. It's a very organic design. It's made to just drop into your hand. No matter what position you want to have it in, it's going to be super comfortable. I love everything about this knife. I truly do. I think if I had to choose only one knife to keep for some odd reason, I had to give all my other ones away, I'd be really hard pressed, but I think this would be the ultimate winner, the one that I would have to keep. This is just a truly amazing knife. And the thing is, with Yoon's weight, you know, I think I'm 14 months out from getting my next 2 after placing my order. I think now to place an order, you're waiting over 17 months. And basically every order he gets from there on is another 2 weeks to a month wait added to the next person. So yeah, it's the kind of thing where you really don't want to wait too long if you want to own a Una knife. All right, so put that to the side. And love that knife. You guys have seen this in most of the videos that I've done doing some sort of comparison. My Todd Bag Bodega. I have yet to find another mid-tech knife that is made this flawlessly. This is one of the very few occasions where I can look at a knife, I can hold it, I can play with it. As you see, I've used it to cut stuff. I've yet to have another knife really in my hands that I could say was this perfect. The closest I've come to that recently is my Will Moon Mark 6, and that'll be in this video too. It's just flawless. I don't care how many times I flipped it, how hard I flip it, or how soft I flip it. The lockup is the exact same as the day I got it. Tolerances are still within the same specs as when I received it for everything. I mean, there's no wiggle, there's no play, there's no nothing. Unfortunately, I mean, it shows some wear, being blasted titanium. That's not a bodega thing. That's a blasted titanium anything. That's I guess the one downside to this is the way that it's going to wear, and over the years it's going to look really crappy. I'll have to send it in probably for a spa treatment. But now that Todd has the TV show and everything, I mean, their website crashed the same night the show aired, as terrible as the show was. We'll get into that later on another video. Every bodega that was on any website anywhere, and there had been some sitting for a while, they're all gone. I don't even want to think about how long it would take to get a spa treatment at this point with all the TV newbie fans that could barely spell knife before they saw the show that now feel they have to own a Todd Bag product. Good for him. Kudos to him. I wish him all the most amazing success in the world. He deserves it. He's worked hard for it. But for the rest of us that already loved his products, that already had a hard enough time getting his products, it's going to be a real pain in the ass. I just love everything about it. I love the little custom finishes, the cracked ice finish on the pivot plate, as the back spacer, on the pocket clip, even the way he designed the pocket clip, the futuristic look of everything. I mean, this is just one of those knives that knife people and people that know nothing about knives, when they see it, they're impressed. They love it. And I feel the same way. That is a beautiful, beautiful knife that I have no problem carrying every day, that will live up to use and abuse. Don't have to fear it. Another favorite of mine, my Greg Lightfoot full contact fighter, which is a flipper. You guys know I tend to favor flippers. I love everything about this knife visually. And there's a reason why I'm stressing visually. Love the blue twill and carbon fiber mix. The massively thick titanium slabs inside, the standoffs, the carbon fiber pocket clip. Just gorgeous. The way the handle is shaped, the way your fingers drop into it. It is a fighter. I mean, you're gonna be able to hold on to this in a fight. The thumb ramp and heavy jimping, beautifully done. And I still love that top swedge and this incredible blade profile. He did an amazing job. The only things I don't like, the sharp edges, sharp edge on that flipper, the sharp edges here and here. When I carry it, this digs into me a little bit. I feel when I'm carrying this knife. That's the only downside. I carry it a lot because pretty much my favorite color these days are blue and black. This obviously has both. I just wish it didn't dig into me when I carried it. That's pretty much the only downside to this knife. The other downside was, and I'm still amazed by this, a custom knife maker that builds an entire knife by hand and charges the money that he does, didn't put Loctite on his own pivot. So within a couple of weeks of having this and flipping it a little bit and playing with it, I noticed the blade was getting loose, and as I would drop it down, it would be wiggling inside the frame. And I realized, oh crap, the damn pivot's loose. So I had to take the pivot out. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I had to put my own Loctite in there. You wouldn't expect that typically for a knife in that price range. Other than those little nitpicks, it's fantastic. Next up, my little PF1 flipper from Chris Martin at Phantom Steelworks. The guy does an amazing job, and he thinks outside of the box. His knives are unlike anybody else's. It looks like it's rough and it's going to cut into your hand and it looks like it's going to hurt you. It's not. It's actually, he's actually dehorned and rounded everything off nicely. It has a very aggressive look. And it does feel aggressive in the hand. Don't get me wrong. There's a big difference between handling this and handling this. But it's not uncomfortable. This thing is crazy. I love flipping this thing. It has such a different sound because of the size, how short it is, the way and how thick the titanium is. When this opens up, it doesn't sound like any other knife I've got. I love his mech etching that he does throughout the entire blade. Just does a great job. It's unique, it's cool, it's different. I love my Mokutai pocket clip. When people see this knife and we start talking about them, oh, apparently somebody's calling me in the middle of my video. I don't care. You can call back later. Whenever somebody asks about it and they see it, they react the same way. I've never seen anything like it. And they always add how beautiful it is, the coloration that comes out of it. This is always an impressive knife. And I carry this a lot. It's seen some use. Definitely not a safe queen. One that will be more of a safe queen than anything else. It's still getting carried. It's still going to get used. But there's such a degree of exclusivity to it that it's not going to see heavy rotation. And that is my Medford Praetorian T. The one-off custom built by Greg Medford that he gave away in the contest that I was very fortunate to be the lucky recipient of the winnings. This thing is incredible. Basically, it's a Praetorian tie with super slim scales. So instead of being like a normal Praetorian tie, they would be like this thick. They would be much more comparable to the Direware. He did it in a slimness like the scales he would put on the Praetorian A or G, the aluminum or G10 versions. But you still got that insanely wicked hollow ground plus flat ground American Tanto style D2 blade in the black oxide finish. If you cock it to the side like this, what you've actually got here going from the frame into the blade is the Medford knife and tool logo. Big D2 glass breaker. It needs this because the handles are so lightweight because they're so skinny. It is really blade heavy. So this certainly is needed to balance it out for this one. You know, I only have two real complaints about it. I can even shave hair off my arm with this. It can't even bite into a piece of paper. You can't even come close to cutting things with it, which kind of a good thing because it's less tempting for me to carry it. And there's no over travel stop for the lock bar. And being this thin in titanium, come on, focus. That worries me a little bit because you can really feel how thin that is. Other than that, this is pretty much one of my favorite knives that I'll probably ever own in my entire life. He did an amazing job. It's a one-off. It's marked as a one-off in the paperwork. Plus, obviously, all the videos that he made about it before he gave it away. This thing is worth probably more than almost any other Medford that's ever been bought, traded, or sold. So that's definitely going to be a keeper for me. And once I receive the Praetorian tie that I bought, that I'm doing the bronzed titanium slabs on and the NP3 blade. Once that arrives, this is probably going to end up kind of being semi-retired. It may come out just, you know, to kind of show off to friends or whatnot. I don't think it's going to get pocketed much. All right, and the last in my Magnificent 7 is my newly acquired Will Moon Mark 6. I've really not been able to find a flaw with this thing. It is super easy to carry, super fun. Love this thin profile. This allows me to carry a big 4-inch blade. Love that spanto that he did on a very elongated thin blade. This allows me to carry a 4-inch blade and feel like I'm carrying a knife half the size. It gets super slim here. It tapers super slim here. We've got the moon glow here, and the moon glow here. I lay this down in a dark room. It's easy to find. And actually, this stuff really glows a lot better than I expected it to. He did a really, really cool job with that. The blade is fantastic. It's wonderfully sharp. He did a great stone wash on it. Nice, clean look. There is his pantographed signature there. So he did brushed flats, nice stone wash. There's the bolster lock. Nice detent. Great flipping action. The guy knows what he's doing. He made a fantastic product. I'm very proud to own it. I've already talked to him now about getting my order in for a couple more. He is going to be offering a smaller version for those of you that watch my video and said, oh, that's really awesome, but it's a 4-inch. That's way too long for me to carry. He is going to be looking at about a 3.5, 3.65-inch blade version of this. I think he's going to call it the Mark 7. He and I have already discussed that. I will certainly be getting in on one of those. Now, I have to kind of throw in, I know Magnificent 7 should be 7. I have to throw in just kind of one more because this is going to serve a different purpose. This is an absolute daily carry, and this is what I call an abusive daily carry, one that I'm really, really, really going to be beating on. And I just received this yesterday. Just did a video on it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. My Curtis Knives F3 in the 3.5-inch, where he did the custom bronze anodizing for me. This little 3.5-inch flipper is, I can't take it out of my hands. I've been playing with this thing for almost 24 hours straight since I got it in. Just love it. It flips like a dream, flips almost like that Bodega, except you have a smaller, lighter blade, so it's not going to be quite the same. But it is just super amazing, super sharp, great stone wash, great look all the way around. He did an amazing job. Couldn't possibly be happier with this knife. So there's my Magnificent 7 with a bonus 1. Thank you, terafanatic, for the great idea. I want to see you guys do up a video response. I want to see what your top favorite 7 is right now in your collection. Obviously, subject to change. We're all fickle, right? We all change our minds every now and then, or we trade one off and replace it with something else. But for right now, as of today, what are your favorite 7 knives in your collection? I look forward to seeing them. Bye.